This video was not intended for children.
Hello everyone, this is Isaac.
This is Darren.
And we are True Masters and Morons, playing Vampyr with a bowler hat.
We have to talk to Swansea.
I hear you have something new to say to me.
Jonathan, back from the city
Alright.
already? How is the situation over there?
Maybe it's just that you went to Whitechapel or
I'm
whatever.
sure every obstacle will
Maybe.
cede to your relentless determination. In the meantime, can I be of any help?
Loads. How do you feel about spilling everything you know?
Lady Ashbury is an artist?
Ashbury is an artist, and rather a good one.
Well, actually, yes. I attended an exhibition of her paintings before the war. Beautiful landscapes and stunning portraits. I wish I'd purchased one.
Perhaps
I'll
we
bet
could
you
go to her
don't.
next exhibition.
What a beautiful idea, Jonathan. Did you know she told me once she had been a model for famous painters? But she never told me which ones.
Probably old dead ones,
Michelangelo.
right? Which reminds me of a thought, but we'll discuss that later.
A sad story, my dear friend. Tragic, in fact. The Brotherhood was betrayed by some of its most trusted members. The founders of the Garden
Oh my gosh!
in the Brotherhood's mind. They used them to identify and locate their next targets.
Oh,
No.
Why was it a tragedy?
that explains how they
Not
did it
only
so
did the Guard
fast,
of
you know?
Pre-Work
I agree.
hunt down and kill most ancient vampires of England, they also destroyed or confiscated their possessions. Priceless
Oh, no, no,
knowledge
no.
was lost in just a few nights.
Did they do like the full-on Nazi burning of old vampire relics? Cause
What can
We
you
didn't
tell
say
me
all of
about
them,
Lord
but many.
still.
The legendary founder of the Ascalon Club.
But
I'm afraid I cannot help you with that, Jonathan.
You do
cannot
know
or will
him.
not.
All the Brotherhood knows about him is highly confidential.
Come, I'm about to talk to him, dude.
And Britain's inner circles.
Oh, that's bad mojo.
Are you afraid of him? Is he that dangerous?
No, but since most
Yes.
vampires were killed or fled England during the Great Hunt of 1850, he may be the oldest British vampire. A myth in the flesh, so to speak.
Except for Blood
1850.
Daddy.
That's only 18 years before your dad left.
Your dad left in something 09.
1908.
1908. That was 1850.
I shall
That's
return
59 years
Thank
before
you.
your dad left.
Sorry, yes, I was... Alright, I'm gonna be honest right now. For some reason, my brain was in minutes. Therefore,
amazing.
therefore, the next digits after 50 would be 60, which leads to the next hour, which means that it was the next 100 years.
Well, at least now your math makes sense. I was trying to figure out where you got that at all. All right. Okay, I'm all right with that.
Oh my god, I feel so dumb.
Hey, within your flawed logic, at least the mathematics were, consistent and correct.
Anyway, you got reminded of something because of Ascalon Club and
Do we want to cut to getting
no,
to Ashbury, or
just talk and I'll run there.
you're just like, no, I just need anything to distract from what I just said.
Yes, anything to just to let me stop wallowing in self-mathematical pity.
Well, it actually has to do with Lady Ashbury. I didn't think about it at the time. I was thinking about it after we recorded.
Mm-hmm.
So right before talking to Ashbury, Blood Daddy appears, and he gives you that whole speech, and he mentions the awakening of, what is it, the starving queen or the famished queen, something like that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And Ashbury's always been sketchy to me. I'm not 100% convinced she'll turn on you, but I'm not 100% convinced she won't.
Yeah.
You know? And then she made the comment during your conversation of, you're like, well, I mean, but what if you have to feed all these things out there? She's like, I just won't. I'm used to it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. She makes like comments about always being, curbing her thirst and stuff. And
Why
I mean,
is you not killing the dude? He had like a hint of life left.
Why is you not killing the good is what I heard, by the way.
That might have been what I said. I don't even know.
You were just so Ah!
Okay, he has to die.
No! Oh, you prick! Because he's gonna heal from that. Oh, never mind. He didn't heal from that.
Or at least not enough. But yeah, so I'm like, what if she's the starving queen?
She could be. And let's face it, this game, and she definitely has an issue with all the rest of the vampires and London in general with their sexism due to the fact that she's a woman and could kick ass.
I don't think she's that mad about it, but between that and like looking at some of the other stuff, like that portrait that I feel like is a lot older than you're supposed to think it is.
Of course.
Be careful when you sell items, as some ingredients are hard to gather and may be vital for unlocking and crafting advanced recipes. Yeah. I only just realized you can even sell items, so I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, because I don't care who you are. Like, we know that's some ancient-ass castle on, like, the Isle of Wales or something. Like,
I mean, I don't know where it is, but yeah. It's an ancient castle that she probably knew about when it was standing.
she probably ruled it when it was standing. That was my assumption.
If she's the starving queen, absolutely.
Even before we had the thought of her being the starving queen, I fully thought that was like her castle that she ruled from whenever. The idea of her being the starving queen just kind of reinforces that.
Again, Jonathan.
I like how she's staring in the window like she's trying to see her reflection.
Look at my green eyes, Jonathan.
Spare me a few minutes.
Do you want to hear the pleasure of this visit? Well, you have new conversation options, so you tell me.
Right?
Concerning your investigation,
Yes,
are you truly seeking to identify my maker?
I cannot promise you anything, but yes.
He asks the same questions and doesn't ask the important people any questions.
Shall ever
Nope.
see better days, or at least better nights.
I know not, Jonathan. I have seen some horrid days in my long lifetime. Experience has taught me that one cannot outrun the fates.
I can outrun whatever I want.
Oh, that's been proven inaccurate.
When all of this is over, the war and the epidemic, we could leave the city for a while. Travel around Europe.
You're getting chummy real quick,
Traveling
John.
is always so complicated for us poor creatures of the night.
Yeah, I told you last time that there's like a romance building here.
And by building, you mean appeared out of nowhere almost? Yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned
this
that last time.
Yeah. I was just like, no, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to. Yeah, but that question.
Eternity may not be enough to relate them all.
That
Bullcrap.
is not physically possible. That's like it takes at most the amount of time it took to live through to repeat.
I confess I've been more concerned by events in the East End. The wealthy have more efficient ways of dealing with infection.
But this is no common epidemic.
That is true. I must tell my daughter to stay at home for a few days.
What?
But the girl is stubborn and fiercely independent. Much like her mother.
Adoptive or vampire? Really? No follow-up, you have a daughter question?
Cool.
Really?
All right, John, you're just not asking any of the questions. Why not?
John, this is why the Blood Night tragedy.
Real quick before we read that, though, I do have one joke. Apparently, it didn't want to pop up anyway. I do have one joke that the whole me saying that it takes as long.
What's in the portrait?
Go ahead.
She has a portrait. What is it?
Where? That she's painting.
Working on.
Me.
Oh, it's you. That's weird. Okay, go on.
But just because I said, it takes as long to recount as it did to live through, and then I realized and remembered there's a comedian who specifically talks about that's not the case. Dracula. Bram Stoker's classic Dracula. To the inspiring Lady Ashbury, there are darknesses in life, and there are lights, and you are one of the lights, the light of all lights. Bram Stoker, August 4th, 1897. I'm so used to saying my birthday, August 4th. Hey, everyone, my birthday is August 4th. And then immediately saying my birth year, not 1897. So I almost said my birth year instead.
That's funny. That is funny.
So that means she's at least that old. which is not surprising.
She was here for the Purge, which is like 40 years before that.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
I'm sorry, was that not the details? All right, cool. But there's a
stole her signed copy of Dracula.
Yeah, I know, right? But there's a comedian who talks about how his wife will come home and tell her all about her day, and he's like, and it was then that I realized that time really does slow down when you talk about it, and he just basically goes into describing that she described an hour-long conversation and it took like 4 hours to tell him about it. Because she'd like do something like get distracted and be like, well, Cindy would say this, but then Billy came in and did this, blah, 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 blah. And then I realized that she hasn't even been talking about a 10-minute section and it's been an hour. Like, so there we are. Do you want to read this one and then I read the other one, or? Okay.
Yeah, I'll read this one. Personal Diary, 9th May, 1913. Tonight, I went with Mother visiting the sick of the East End. It had been a long time since I went in this sad part of town. To see her talking and listening to those poor people moved me beyond words. She really tries to make a difference and really tries to help these men and women. She also killed one of them tonight. It happened so quickly I did not even notice she had vanished, but when she reappeared, she looked so much more alive, more vivid. I immediately knew what had just happened. She took her life, and I saw nothing. We returned home without a word. If I ever become like her, I won't feed on the dying. I will kill the guilty and the brutes wherever they hide. I will go full Punisher mode.
Nice.
Punisher, Daredevil, yeah.
Dexter.
Yep. 13th September, 1914. This afternoon, 2 men tried to corner me in a back alley while I was campaigning for the women's right to vote. I called for help as loud as I could, like Mother told me. I don't know what would have happened if a soldier had not ordered them to leave me alone. He then walked me back home and tried to kiss me. I refused. He did not say a word and left. The whole story made me so sad I was still crying when Mother woke up after the night had come. I told her the whole truth and she held me against her chest. Then we went to the theater to see Doris Fletcher in her new play. I think I'm a little bit frustrated that Mother did not rush out to make them all pay. If I were a vampire, I would not be that merciful. And you wonder why you aren't one yet.
So, seriously, again, remember that vampires have a heartbeat, and she apparently has a daughter. I fully believe...
She's adopted.
I don't know. I don't think so.
She's adopted.
I don't think so.
Unless I get specific information otherwise, she's adopted, because the undead cannot procreate through any other method other than creating vampires, and that's the end of it.
Okay.
We can have a discussion later, but not now. 15th September, 1914. We had a terrible argument with Mother. We had a terrible argument with Mother last night, as she refused once again to turn me into an immortal. When I reminded her of what happened to me in that street with those 2 men and how things would have been different if I had been like her, or if they had carried weapons, she simply smiled and told me that to be part of this world meant to be ready to face it. I'm not sure I understand what she means, but it drives me crazy. I left home in the middle of the night to see Emily at her house, and I spent the whole day there. Maybe it's time for me to leave Mother's house and live my life, just like Emily. I love Mother so much, but it frustrates me so when she refuses to talk about my conversion.
Real quick, just the sentence, I'm not sure I understand what that means that you're not ready.
Yep. 17th of February, 1915. Tonight, I'm as sad as I am excited, for I'm about to leave this house for good. Mother has agreed to let me have my own flat in the West End. Oh dear. As long as it's not too far from her house. I had to promise her I'd be very careful. I told her how much I love her, and she told me she was proud of me. I understand now that she only wants me to be as strong and independent as she is. I must admit I'm very thankful for all she taught me through these years. She made the woman I am today. Now it's time for me to choose where to go from here. Whatever I'm going to do with my life, it's up to me. All I know is this. If I ever choose to become an immortal, I will not involve my mother in my choice, for this is my life, and I'm responsible for my actions. You'd probably be better off if you did. I get the feeling she's on the older scale of the things around here, so I mean it's just to your advantage to
It really is.
I think
you know what? We'll go ahead and look. Oh, she is different skin color, maybe. So we'll go ahead and we'll have to go back and look at the recording to find out what it is we actually picked up there. When we're done, when we start next time, we'll start with that because I have no idea what we picked up.
That being said, the Supremacy of Econs was in there, which somebody said we hadn't read. Do you want to look through it and see if we did read it?
Yeah, we'll do that.
I don't think we've read that.
I don't think we've read that. Okay. All right, everyone. So we're outside of there. We didn't rewatch it, but we did get a comment saying we never read this one, The Supremacy of Econs. So we're going to go ahead and read that real quick. It is no coincidence that the Econs are the most eminent and most numerous of all vampires. Econs are the true aristocracy of immortals, and, if I may add, they are the only ones able to stay at the top of the food chain. Everywhere I traveled, I only met Econs assuming mortal lives or forming an immortal society. Econs are the most human, most clever, and most educated of all vampires. Don't get me wrong here. I have nothing against the more exotic species like the Volcod, who share the gift of immortality with us. Most of them can prove useful, if properly canalized toward a clear goal. But they lack the most important trait of all, the ability to mingle with mortals without being spotted. Therefore, the Ascalon Club should only accept Econ of the highest lineage as members of its inner circle. Depending on circumstances, Volcods could be accepted as war dogs or hunting hounds as long as they obey our laws. Luckily enough, these lesser cousins have a natural tendency to submit and obey their masters.
Do you think that's what the giant dude was?
From The Law of Ascalon by Lord Redgrave, founder. I absolutely think that's what the big black dudes are Volcods.
Okay.
All right. So should we go talk to the dude who was like outside of my mom's house, or
Yes,
should we actually
absolutely go check out the Rasputin wannabe, especially since hopefully there's a shopkeeper that he might be that will sell you things like white phosphorus.
So I can actually get the anti-people shotgun.
Vampiric weaponry, since, you know, you're running into a lot of them now, and you're about to walk into a club full.
Right. All right. We'll see you when we get there.
It would be really nice to have a fire shotgun if you walk into a club of vampires.
It'd be really nice.
Thanks for watching this video. If you'd like to see more like it, hit that subscribe orb.
To see our last Let's Play, click or tap the link on the right.
For our last lore video, click the link on the left.
Thank you to all of our patrons for making these videos possible.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.